fleet is a critical component of Wizz Air's business model. We are highly innovative. We have been only flying brand new aircraft. We are an Airbus customer. Maybe this is relevant in today's world. We have 210 aircraft in the fleet as we speak, and we are building the fleet up to 500 aircraft towards the end of the decade. The fleet is important because we think that by design an aircraft is a source of efficiency and productivity. And as we speak, we think that the A321neo aircraft is the best available aircraft in the world, and this is the aircraft what we use. We have 80% of our fleet converted into A321s, and 60% of the fleet is already renewed with neo technology. So we are economically highly efficient on the one hand, but also, as demonstrated a number of times actually through CAPA, we have been awarded twice for being the most sustainable airline on the planet. And that is the function of the way we operate and what we operate, what aircraft we fly. So we will have a lot of excitements coming in the future. So it's not only that we are renewing technology, but also we are introducing the XLR aircraft, and that really creates the relevance for us with regard to India. With the XLR aircraft that is capable of flying 8 hours, India comes within reach for that aircraft, and that's the very reason I'm here today, sitting next to you and talking about the business. When the whole industry was going backwards, we were really pushing forward. We felt that COVID, of course, was a bad thing for humanity and for people, but COVID at the same time represented a strategic opportunity for Wizz Air, and we wanted to make sure that essentially we take advantage of that opportunity. We were an airline with money, we were an airline with aircraft, we were an airline with highly ambitious management and a highly committed team of employees, and we felt that that was really a unique opportunity that only happens probably once in a lifetime. Everyone wanted to have capacity, every airport, every country, every government, and they looked for airlines, and there weren't many at that time who actually can deliver, and we were one of those airlines. And today Wizz Air is 60% larger than pre-COVID, while the European industry is still just sort of catching up to pre-COVID capacity levels. That makes us distinct, different, and unique in the European airline space. And this is what Wizz Air is capable of doing. Not only that we are innovative when it comes to the fleet and consumer services and products, but also we are prepared to take risks. We are very entrepreneurial, and we can be a good corporate citizen when a country is in need of help or capacity. We can step up and deliver that. If I may just give you one example, so during the COVID period, of course, the whole of Europe was on its knees with regard to how to best cope with the COVID challenges. We stepped up in every country, but particularly in Hungary, and in Hungary we effectively became the supplier of COVID-related medical appliances, masks and everything from China and other parts of the world to the country. We became an essential infrastructure, and we helped the country, we helped people recover from the COVID problems. So this is what we can do. We are very reliable. We consider ourselves pretty much a national carrier on every country we are operating from, because we commit ourselves to the market, we invest into the market, we employ lots of people, we create a lot of jobs, we become engine of economies and regions, and this is what we think we can replicate in new markets. The very recent, which is fairly close to you, is our venture in Abu Dhabi, which we created right in the face of the COVID period. We have an airline called Wizz Air Abu Dhabi, based there, and just in a very short space of time, we became a real economic engine in the country and in Abu Dhabi. Sustainability is incredibly important for Wizz Air. Some of it comes inherent internally, some of it comes externally. Maybe to start with the internal factors, as said, we are a highly efficient business, especially when it comes to innovating technology and also the way we operate that technology. And when you innovate, it also tends to be that the latest technology is always the most sustainable technology at the same time. So that kind of an innovation is driving our commitment to sustainability, but also that comes as a need, as a demand from our organizational culture. We are a very young organization. Average age of the company is around 28. So you can imagine all those young people are very keen on working for a company that is committed to sustainability, that is committed to protecting the environment. And we have a very multicultural organization, and we make all those needs and drives inherent in the culture of the company. So sustainability comes from within, from the company. And at the same time, we also recognize that sustainability is increasingly demanded by consumers. They want to consume sustainable products. They want to fly sustainable airlines. Also, we see the need rising within our communities. Governments are increasingly promoting sustainability as a scheme. So we're seeing that we can be a driver of sustainability by design of our fleet, by design of our organization, and by recognizing the needs of the consumers and the communities we are into. We do a lot beyond just technology, the way we operate. We are very cautious and critical when it comes to fuel burn. We have roughly around 40 to 50 different initiatives trying to reduce fuel burn of the aircraft. We look at all sorts of other measures to reduce our environmental footprint. We are also investing into the future. We have made significant investments into sustainable aviation fuel production on an equity basis. So we are putting equity into companies that will deliver and produce sustainable aviation fuel in the United States, also in Europe, and we are looking for other investment opportunities too. So it's not only that we take advantage of our current standing, but we want to push this forward to the next level and make sure that we are an important constituent in driving the next layer of developments in the industry. For the future, we are also working together with Airbus to make sure that whatever the next technology of the propulsion system is going to be, we are contributing to it, and we are looking at hydrogen-powered aircraft, and we are one of the pilot customers of Airbus inputting to that initiative to make sure that that aircraft is going to be developed properly to best meet the needs of the consumers as well as the industry and operators like Wizz Air. So we try to innovate on every front. So just to sum it up, we are the most innovative airline today, and as a result, we are the lowest carbon footprint in the industry, but we are investing into sustainable aviation fuel, and we are also investing resources into a decarbonized propulsion technology, hydrogen-based, to make sure that the industry is really transforming itself. We are a private company. We are in business for creating value, including shareholder value. So I think every airline can have a lot of stories around how great they are in terms of innovation and how appealing they are to the consumers, but we want to make sure that we are also great to our shareholders, our investors, and we continue to create value. Value may be created on the basis of profitability and growth. This is what we think Wizz Air is probably one of the best business propositions in the industry globally for creating such value, given our low-cost business model, economic efficiency, and derived profitability combined with the growth. What we are able to deliver, we think, puts us into the best position to create shareholder value in the future. We are expecting profitability to further improve going forward. I mean, we are I think back now to the pre-COVID financial performance level. Wizz Air is a highly profitable airline. and that business delivers significant growth on a sustainable basis, and this is really the way we create shareholder value, and we are back on track now. I probably wouldn't go that far at this stage of the game, so we need to crawl before we run. We would like to start flying to India inbound first, and this is what we are discussing with the regulator, with the system to make sure that we are able to access the markets. Again, we think we create value. We think we can create value without really putting pressure on the domestic industry in India. We all understand that the country is in need of a much enhanced and much more robust airline industry in the country. I think we are seeing some really good developments over the past few years domestically, and it will be followed by international developments as well. So we like strong industries, we like strong airlines, we like strong competitors. Our purpose is not to mess up with the market, but our purpose is to add value to the market. And I think we can add value with our low-cost point-to-point, bringing in new destinations, new connections at a different cost level versus what is established in the market, really boosting travel to and from India. So this is what we are working on. Our objective is to start flying to India. The XLR aircraft is really the kind of the technical way of executing that ambition. With that aircraft being able to fly 8 hours, direct connections between sort of Central Europe and India become possible and feasible. And this is what we are discussing here in the country and other countries on the European end as well. I think there is a lot of excitement on the European side. Almost every country, every airport is incredibly keen and eager to get India on their map, and we try to bring that excitement to the Indian side as well. I mean, just think about it this way. So when you outsource distribution, you add a cost layer to the business. So again, strategically speaking, if your business model is about delivering the business at the lowest possible cost, and by having the lowest cost, you apply the lowest fares in the market, so strategically, you should be distributing directly. Now, of course, you can ask the question that, okay, it may be so in principle, but what if you are unable to really penetrate the market on that basis, because the market just operates totally differently. But the market changes and the market evolves. And again, 20 years ago, we saw operation of the market in Central and Eastern Europe actually fairly similar to what you are having in India at the moment. And if I look at it today, over the last 20 years, it got transformed profoundly. So I think people will move. New generations behave differently from previous generations. If you look at, I don't know, the 20-year-old people today, they are only hanging on phones and internet and etc. So they don't really need to go to someone to book. They can do it themselves. And with time, obviously, these generations will become core to the franchise. So I think that is a market evolution. You can postpone it. You can jump, to the front of the queue. I mean, we are jumping to the front of the queue, but I think this transformation process is inevitable in the future. Actually challenge myself, challenge my team pretty much on an everyday basis. Because if you really think about this, this is almost like counterintuitive to the way we think. I mean, you as a person, I as a person, want to drive a better car, want to eat better food, want to live in a better house, etc. And then you go to the office every morning and you try to beat yourself to make sure that actually you go counterintuitive and you just relentlessly focus on cost as opposed to, having a better life. Because strategically in this business, in commodities, lowest cost wins, lowest cost prevails, and you have to deliver the lowest cost. I think the cost of the industry depends on a number of factors. As far as I'm concerned, the choice of aircraft is critical. The utilization of the aircraft is critical. The productivity around the operation, labor productivity, what you insource, what you outsource, etc. Those are critical decisions. I think distribution is critical. I mean, distribution can be very costly. Should you go through a number of layers versus going directly? So this is not like a one idea. This is a principal commitment, and it brings zillions of ideas you have to execute against. But the fundamental issue in the airline industry, I think, is that it's a commodity. It used to be a privileged industry. It is no longer a privileged industry. It is a commodity. In commodities, lowest cost wins, lowest cost prevail. And who can make that transition will be winners of the future. Who won't be able to make those transitions, I think they will continue to lose out, and they will make themselves irrelevant in the industry. They will make themselves irrelevant in the eyes of the consumers going forward. All the airlines start as a new airline pretty well. They are very cost focused, very structured, very committed to being a low-cost business. And once they achieve some success, then they start wondering, okay, how about cargo? How about regional flying? How about long-haul flying? How about this? How about that, etc. So they get tempted to divert from the core principles of low cost. And typically what you see is that the moment they start diverting, their profitability goes down. The moment the business starts losing focus on its core competencies, you start entering into some strategically dangerous zones. Certainly you're going to pay for that with profitability, but even you might be risking over time the bankruptcy of the business. And this is, in my mind, the single biggest challenge I have personally, how to make sure that under any circumstances the business remains focused, it remains committed to the core principles, it remains low cost, because we're seeing that, I think that in a business, especially short-haul flying, which is a commodity, only low cost can prevail structurally over the long run.